Hey guys, we're finally getting to our discussion on Psychic Wheelder, which is coming out in Savage Strike in only a week and a half now. I had recorded this video a week earlier, but for some reason the recording got messed up, so now we're just redoing the video. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. Let's get right into talking about the card. So Psychic Wheelder is part of a few cards of Psychic support. It's the only one that's really that relevant to Burning Abyss. It's the best of the two level 3 monsters that special summon themselves from the hand. Anyway, if you control a level 3 monster on the field besides Psychic Wheelder, you can special summon it from your hand. If it's sent to the graveyard as Synchro material, you get to destroy a card on your opponent's side of the field. So I see a lot of people saying that this is just another copy of Gallis the Star Beast on YouTube, Discord, Reddit, all kinds of platforms. And unfortunately, in many ways, it's really not. While they are both level 3, they're both Earth, they're both special summoned from the hand. Their use cases often end up being quite different. We can just look at the summoning conditions to see this. Gallis just has to mill a monster off the top of the deck, which in Sekka's Burning Abyss happens almost every single time. It's pretty rare to mill the Sekka's Light. It sucks when you do, but Gallis has a pretty close to 100% summon rate. Meanwhile, Psychic Wheelder requires you to control another level 3 on the field. Gallis can be summoned at any time, and I will say the mill off the top of the deck, it deals burn damage, which is great in time. It can send useful cards like Edgem Sabers to the graveyard, so I don't think that aspect of it should be overlooked either. But mainly, Gallis can be special summoned at any time, regardless of what your field looks like. And that's incredibly powerful, and it makes it a lot more useful for linking up. If you have a Link 2 on the field, you just simply summon Gallis and make a Link 3. Psychic Wielder, you can't do that with. You have to have another level 3 already, which sort of defeats the purpose of having it as a potential link-up extender anyway. So, already, the card is pretty different from Gallis just in that aspect. I think it is also worth considering that the Summon Sorceress combo requires a level 3 non-Burning Abyss extender. Psychic Wheelder cannot be used for that combo, and so I think decks that are running Summon Sorceress probably aren't going to be too interested in this card. Its main advantage over Gallis, or any of the danger monsters, frankly, and danger monsters have a little bit more variability, they're kind of a whole nother discussion, but in general, Gallis and danger monsters are better at it than quite a wide range of things. They can be special summoned at any time, like I said. However, it is a tuner monster. Psychic Wheelder is the only level 3 extender we really are looking at that is a tuner, and unfortunately that also comes with some downsides. So we'll get into some of the good synchros you can make with it in a minute. First, I'm just going to cover why it's a little bit lackluster. First of all, can't really be used for level 7 synchros. The only level 4 we typically run in the deck is Fairy Tale Snow, which makes it just not very efficient. We can't make Black Rose, Shooting Riser Dragon, or most importantly, Yazi with the card. Already, Destrudo fills that niche much better than it can, and so that's definitely a strike against the card. Because it's level 3, you also can't make level 8 synchros. We don't run any level 5s, so potential contenders for the extra deck like Borreload Savage Dragon, we can't make that with it either. Most level 6 synchros aren't worth making. In general, the level 6 synchro pool is not very good. The couple that we can consider are Bryonic, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, and Virgil, Rockstar of the Burning Abyss. My problem with both of these cards is that they don't add a ton to the deck. You already are dealing with a very tight extra deck in Burning Abyss. There's a lot of different kind of techie combo-y cards we want to be trying to squeeze in. Both of these cards have niches that are somewhat filled by Nightmare Unicorn in a more generic way, and so I find it really hard to justify fitting either of these cards into deck. They're really only good going second, and we already have other combos for going second, like the Yazi Mermare combo to try to push for damage with Boral Sword Dragon. You can make Nightmare Unicorn if you really need to maybe out a particularly tricky monster. Neither of these cards do anything new or unique that we don't already have. You do get the extra destruction with Psychic Wheelder. The weird thing, though, is that both of these monsters are returning cards from the field to the hand. And if that's the case, why do you need to destroy anything a lot of the time? There are definitely situations where you both want to return something to the hand and destroy something, but a lot of the very niche use cases where Bryonic and Virgil might be important, I feel like that destruction effect is less valuable than it would be in situations where you might make different synchro monsters. I will give it some credit. The use case it has as a unique typed earth attribute monster is that it can make Curious, and yes, I know we'll talk about Needle Fiber here in a minute. I know some people are going to probably already be jumping on that card, but first of all, Curious, I think it's a pretty good card to be making going first. It's a different option other than Summon Sorceress, and in some ways I think it's the better card to go for because it lets you just send Snow to the graveyard directly, which allows you to free up your Beatrice to send Farf or something else during the opponent's turn. If you really want to push for using Earth attribute monsters to make Curious, you could add this card. I think you could also argue that you're better off just adding in Glow Up Bulb or Dotscaper, so that when you open Mathematician Gallis, you normal summon the Mathematician, send one of the graveyard Earth attribute extenders, summon it, and then special the Gallis, and that's Curious. Alternatively, you could just go full on out Earth attributes, playing all those cards and Psychic Wheelder, playing all kinds of crazy Earths. It also opens up using Fiendish Rhino Warrior as an Earth monster for Curious. Part of the problem right now, if you're trying to do it with Earth monsters, is that you're probably normal summoning Mathematician to do it. You could hypothetically open Fiendish Rhino Warrior, Gallis, and Psychic Wheelder to make it kind of a rarer but potentially good path to doing it. Just makes it slightly more likely that Curious is summonable on your first turn. It's not really my favorite, but it's something that you could definitely consider with the card, especially in tandem with Needle Fiber. So I think the one use case that maybe makes this card, you know what, honestly, probably makes it significantly better than it is right now, is Crystal and Needle Fiber. So speaking of not really having any level 3 extenders, the only thing we have in Archetype is Rubik, which obviously only becomes worth it once we have Needle Fiber. Psychic Wheelder fills in a very unique niche of being both level 3 and a tuner for Needle Fiber, and being non-Burning Abyss. You don't have anything like that yet, so if Needle Fiber came out, especially if we end up playing decks that are more than 40 cards, which I think is quite likely considering that we have Dangers here in the TCG, then maybe we want more tuners by playing Psychic Wheelder. Then again, if we aren't playing more than 40 cards, I think perhaps there are considerations of space in the deck. We're already going to have to be fitting in a ton of stuff. We're going to have to fit in stuff like Blackwing Steam the Cloak as a Needle Fiber target. I don't know if there's really room for Psychic Wheelder in this deck, and that's one of the biggest issues, I think, just in general, whether we get Needle Fiber or not. Where does it fit? What is it better than? What are we putting it in over? I just don't really see any space in the deck for it currently. Maybe when Needle Fiber comes out. I think we're going to probably not see it in too many Burning Abyss decks. There might be a couple random regional tops that run it, but that's about it. I'm not particularly excited for the card. We might not even get Needle Fiber in Savage Strike. We may not get it this competitive season, even though it's speculated to be in Savage Strike. So maybe pick it up and try it if you're really interested in experimenting with Burning Abyss, but by no means do I believe that this is going to be staple or something that you should be rushing to pick up anytime soon. So with that, that's my kind of little quick thing. I don't know really how quick it was. I don't have a timer. That's sort of how I'm feeling about Psychic Wielder. I know Thomas Rose has shared some similar sentiments that it's not really that helpful. So I think I'm pretty sound in my opinion. I'm curious to see what you guys think, if there's anything I haven't thought of as far as use cases for the card. And I will see you guys in my next video.